Alright, everyone, welcome to Year Walk. It's a beautiful little indie game from many years ago. So many years ago that I'm not really even sure I remember anything from it, but I do remember watching playthroughs. Got some camera movement going on there. Use A and D or left to right arrow keys to walk. When there is a path leading north, press W or the up arrow to cross it. Oh, I see, right there on the top of the screen. Year Walking was at its core a vision quest with the purpose of being able to foresee the future. There were very rigid rules concerning the Year Walk, and not adhering to them could prove very dangerous, even fatal. The practice of Year Walking came to be a shrouded in mystery, but it seems to have been a widespread practice in Sweden until the beginning of the 19th century, in some rural areas as late as the beginning of the 20th century. Yada yada yada. Year Walk could not be done any common day. There were certain days a year where the gate was open, generally in liaison with important festivals such as May Day, Midsummer's Eve, or Christmas Eve, and most commonly New Year's Eve. Could not partake of any food or drink served on these days. Sogsrest, the Holdra. So I guess this will tell us about things we might encounter here. Journal. Oh. Okay, interesting. A map. Oh, I see. So I was here, here. Now I'm here, so I can go left. Walking speed can be adjusted in the settings. And go right or left? Go left. And left again. Very beautiful. It's a very interesting art style. Left click to interact. There you are. I've been waiting for you all day. You should not go outside without a hat on a cold day like this. You will freeze your ears off, and I am quite fond of the person those ears belong to. Did anyone see you coming here? Now you're being silly. You know that I'm not ashamed of you. It's not like that. I like you very much, but you and I come from different worlds. He is waiting for my answer. I said I'd give it to him next year, and this is the last day of this year. Now you're being unfair. This isn't any easier for me. I don't like it when you're like this. Calm down. You're walking. I hope you're joking. You do remember what happened to my cousin, don't you? Promise me you won't do anything foolish. You're not supposed to know what happens in the future. You should hurry home to your cottage and get some rest. It's getting dark soon. Hurry home to your cottage. You should probably go. You should hurry home now. Go all the way over. Up. Should you find yourself lost, clues can be found in the hints menu. Way past. I guess I'm not allowed. Go up and over. And over. Yeah, we can't go up there. So the year walk, which she just mentioned. Church the final destination. After completing the year walk, walkers would see visions that could manifest themselves in different manners. When the year walker left the cemetery, he might, for instance, see a somber procession of dancers dressed in their finest church clothes. These would be the people that would die the following year. A recurring theme is, of course, the year walker who meets his own ghost on the road. Another story tells of how the walker would see newly dug graves. Love played a great part too, so a walker would typically meet wedding processions or even attend weddings yet to come. One testimony from the late 19th century tells of a mental patient named Martin Nilsson, who described his visions as otherworldly experiences. Before I saw what happened next year, I lived among the stars. I lived there for many lifetimes, it seems. What do I care for next year? Time has already ended. Today, the practice seems to be almost entirely forgotten. It's a very beautiful game, I'll say that much. Okay. Oh, that was so cool. Year walk. That was so cool. That was creepy too. Journal. There has to be an actual sign-in for that, right? So I think I can go everywhere now. So what does it say about it? Where do we go first? Avoid other people. Hmm. Hmm? Mylingen, the Myling. Infanticide was a fairly common crime in Sweden during the 19th century and earlier. The two most common motives were that there was no room for another mouth to feed or the child had been conceived outside wedlock. The souls of these unfortunate children became Mylings. Typically, Mylings were murdered by their mothers, often a married woman who had been left to fend for themselves. The Myling would be commonly left in the woods to die or drowned by their mothers in brooks or bogs. Some Mylings died at the hand of angel makers. The angel maker would typically be paid by the child's poor mother to find a decent home for the infant. When the mother left, the infant was murdered. The most common way for the Myling to haunt was through a horrible wailing sound. The Myling might take the form of a ball of light similar to that of an earbloss, Scandinavian will-o'-the-wisp, and lead the curious traveler astray. Sometimes they would cry for the mothers to breastfeed them, which would apparently set them free. One story from Berglasken tells of an old farmer on his way home through the forest. He is approached by a small child who follows him and says, "Grandfather, grandfather, I am so hungry." The man tries to ignore it, but the child keeps on nagging, so finally the old man loses his patience. "If you can find someone to feed you, then feed, but you won't get any milk from me." The child seems pleased and leaves. When the old man comes home, he finds his daughter lying dead on the floor, bleeding from her chest. The child he met was the spirit of his murdered grandson. A person who helped the Mylings find their way to the other side was left with an open gift. Was often left the gift. According to some sources, the Myling would be taken in by other supernatural creatures such as Hobbs, or if it had been drowned, the Brook Horse. So there's a Myling symbol on this tree. So we can go right. It's pretty confusing, actually. This is weird. Okay. Oh. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Oh my god. Okay. Left, left, right, left, right, 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 left, left. Okay, thank you, creepy child. Am I supposed to be able to do something with you? Left, right, left, right, 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 left, left. Someone help me remember that. Left, right, left, right, 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 left, left. The goat. Can I reset this? This is all very confusing. Don't forget, left, right, left, right, 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 left, left. Left, right, left, right, right. Left, right, left, right, 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 left, left. Is this it? Oh, that's one of them, so there's 3. But if I leave and come back, is it? Yes, okay. So there's 3 of them. I see one here. We got this one. And one up there. Okay, let's go. So, all the way left. Building over here, apparently. Okay, nothing I can do with that. Nathraven. Carrion birds deeply linked with misfortune and death in Scandinavian folklore. The night raven or Nathraven was certainly no exception. The night raven was described as a large bird with a sharp beak, sometimes holes in its wings. It has nipples. A person gazed through these holes, he would become ill. Other stories told of a giant skeleton bird that could never satisfy its hunger. Travelers foolish enough to be out at night risked being devoured by the terrible bird. Night raven was described as ordinary raven, but it landed on a house, someone would die shortly with a terrible fever. Strongly associated with the disease, farmers sent their children out to collect bird eggs. They had to be careful that they did not pick the eggs of the night raven. Those eggs were considered deadly, but if the child was unsure, he could knock on the egg 3 times and say, "Out with the evil spirit." The egg belonged to a night raven and would turn black. Night ravens not only infested the egg, it also possessed birds, preferably carrion birds. According to some sources, the night raven was the spirit of an evil, greedy man who had not been buried properly. The greed manifested itself in the night raven's fondness for shiny objects. I don't suppose I can take that. Yeah, I won't be able to do anything in here. But I know there's one there, so let's go look at that. Okay. It's really difficult. No, up to over. Okay. There's a lot of walking here. Can I change? Yeah, just because we have a long way to go. Okay, so that's 2. How do we get up there? Let's go over here. So all the way left. Alright guys, I actually think I'm going to end this episode here. We've been running around for quite a while, honestly. And this is just a very confusing map. I'm sure we'll figure it all out. But thank you so much for joining us today. And I will see you again in the next episode. Bye.